What is up, collective? I want to tap in with the energy. I'm getting some messages here. So here it is. For the ones who have been in major trauma. Okay, Aries season, listen, Aries season is bold and confident. Okay, think of the ram just plowing through things. I have so much confidence. I am Aries. I am, right? So whatever it is that you are feeling, for instance, if you are having heavy emotions, collective, you are going to express this in however you need to. So if you are seated in your shadow and you're expressing from your shadow, this can come off with a lot of fire and a lot of passion. So you may be one expressing to somebody who holds a lot of light and who is standing in their light. So if you find yourself in shadow and you are expressing a whole lot of that trauma that you've been enduring, and you're expressing this to somebody who is standing in their light, know that this is really coming off very harshly. For the person who is expressing from their shadow, they are the ones who is in pain. But when you are expressing it to somebody who's standing in their light, they are also feeling your pain. So there's a lot of ego clashing. Okay, so if you are finding yourself in Aries season, collective, listen up. If you are finding yourself in Aries season expressing a lot of that hurt and expressing a lot of that shadow and expressing a lot of your trauma, for the first time, you feel good, even though what you're saying is not good, even though what you're saying is not healthy. But for the first time, you're finding your voice, right? You have been the child who has been silenced. You have been the child who has been silent. So you're finding yourself in Aries season going, I'm so confident in what I'm saying about myself. You're certain, even though what you are saying and what you're spewing out and what you're expressing is not good. It's all very toxic. So if you put yourself in self-awareness while you are expressing, listen to what you are saying. Listen to the words that you are saying, but because for some of us, what you are expressing is a lot of toxin and a lot of poison and toxic coming out of your system. So while you are expressing to somebody, they're not taking this very lightly, because you are not taking yourself very lightly if you are in your shadow and you're expressing yourself to somebody. I have already been a victim to this. To our light workers and to our healers, you may feel at this time, feel like you have been bullied, and you're feeling and you continue to feel like you're being bullied. And that is because your light is threatening, your light is disturbing somebody else's shadow. And just remember that while you are disturbing someone's shadow, it only means that that is an unhealed part of themselves that you are disturbing. So you may find yourself in a room with somebody who is rooted in their shadow, and you are perhaps triggering them with your light and a lot of it. The best way to handle this is to find yourself in your safe space, as well as they have to find themselves in their safe space. Most definitely going to find themselves in their safe space. Their nervous system is going to tell them, I need to stay away from this person because their light disturbs me. There's something about their light that I cannot stand. When in fact, it is them they cannot stand because they have not done the inner work and the shadow work that they need to do for themselves. So while you are standing in your light, collective. I'm talking to somebody who is in their light. You are triggering somebody who is in their shadow. And while they may be finding themselves expressing their shadow to you out of nowhere impulsively, you're thinking to yourself, what did I do to this person to deserve such treatment? But it isn't you, collective. It isn't you. It is them finding themselves in their light, stepping out of their shadow. You being in your light is giving them a chance to express their shadow. You are when you are in your light, collective, and you're standing and rooted in your light, it is a very influential magnetic energy. Somebody is seeing that. Somebody who is in their shadow is seeing that, and they're thinking, wow, this is giving me so much motivation. Okay, 555 on the timestamp. It is motivation because they need motivation. In my shadow reading, if you guys want to go back to it, I talked about how the darkness is always going to feed off of the light. And so while the dark always feeds off the light, it cannot thrive on its own without the light. So when the shadow sees the light, it attracts. It wants something from you that it sees that is thriving, because the dark needs to thrive. The dark cannot thrive without the light. But sometimes also we have to remember that we cannot step out of the shadow, and we cannot know our lights until we've gotten to know our shadow. So you have somebody in your life who is seated in their shadow. You might have somebody in your life who is rooted in their shadow and they have not done the inner work. And you're going like, why is this person treating me this way? Right? And you might have an idea, this person is in their shadow and they're wanting to express a lot of that shadow because Aries season is bold and confidence. And while Aries season is letting us this immensely energy that we're feeling in an Aries season of confidence. So if you are in the frequency of fear, it is still immensely and powerful. So whoever is seated in their shadow and expressing a lot of that shadow, it's going to come out very harshly. And if you are seated in your light, if you're grounded in your light, you are triggering shadow, and you're triggering a lot. But the good news is that you are triggering, because the trigger has to come first before it gets healthy. Does that make sense, collective? The trigger has to come first before it becomes even more healthier. Is that crazy or what? To step out of our shadow and to get to know our light, we have to acknowledge our shadow. Sometimes being triggered, because the trigger is what's going to wake us up, put us in self-awareness and go, I need to self-reflect more, right? I had just recently somebody in my life who is in his shadow, had spewed out so many things to me and had expressed so many things to me. And I'm listening to him express his shadow, and I have to remind myself to know where I am with myself, because everything that he's saying to me has nothing to do with me. Does that make sense? I have somebody in my life who's expressing their shadow to me, but it has nothing to do with me. Perhaps it is my light and the energy that I'm bringing to him that's letting him and making him express his shadow to me, but it has nothing to do with me. Although I feel bullied for what he is expressing to me, because what he's saying to me is not very nice, but it is called projection. Whatever he is talking to me and talking at me about has nothing to do with me. Does that make sense? He's just there to express himself because he hasn't gotten a chance to actually really express himself. So for, like what I said, coming back to what I was saying about for some of us who has been silenced, for some of us who had been silent growing up, and you've never gotten to know your voice, you've never gotten to know how to use your voice because you have always been silenced, you are finding yourself in Aries season expressing a lot of that with confidence. You're expressing yourself with confidence. You're finding yourself to be more in your natural state. So what I mean by that is that you're finding yourself to be talking in your natural state of being. You're expressing yourself in your natural state of being. 33 on the timestamp. And number 10, 10 is also of significance. You are finding yourself to be in your truest state of being. You cannot come out being in your truest state of being without acknowledging your shadow. You got to find a way to express your shadow before you even get to know your light. That is what's so crazy about Aries season, is that while you may be finding yourself in your shadow and expressing a lot of your shadow, it only means that you are cleansing yourself so that you can step out in your light. 11:11 on the timestamp, so that you can step out of your shadow and stepping into your light even more confident, right? Let's put it this way. When you are in your shadow, excuse me, let me get my coffee, 1 second. When you are in your shadow, when you are in the frequency of guilt, shame, and fear of self, there is no healthy, positive inner dialogue. Yes, we are just spite, right? You ever notice that the inner dialogue when you are in fear, the inner dialogue is, well, you did that and you are this. It's all about blame, right? It's all about blame. It's all about guilt. The inner voice is exactly judgment, right? The first card that came out. I'm using affirmations for this. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. When you are in your fear, when you are seated in your shadow, you're not thinking about being nice. You're not thinking about being kind. You are actually not thinking about being kind to yourself because you are not capable of being kind to yourself. Look at all of that dark color in the back. There's no sense of trust in yourself, so you are not kind to yourself. When you are in fear, when you are in the energy of fear, when you are in your shadow, you have not yet acknowledged your shadow, so you are in judgment. You are in self-criticism. You are in self-sabotaging. Therefore, how you are, 1313 on the timestamp, how you are to yourself and judging yourself and criticizing yourself and self-sabotaging yourself, your inner dialogue is not nice. Therefore, when you talk to other people, you are not nice. You are not seen and considered to be nice because your inner dialogue is so pessimistic. When you are in your shadow, when we are collectively in our shadow, we are in fact lowering our collective's frequency each time. And you are also lowering the energy and the vibration in the room. What we have to do for these people who are seated in their shadow, we got to pray for them. Collective, this is so vital to our collective's frequency. We want to keep raising, not spiraling down. I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. We want to be in this, and a lot more of this. You notice that the background got lighter and not darker, right? That is in fact the aura that you're carrying around with you when you're not acknowledging your shadow, and your inner dialogue is unwholesome. It's not wholesome. You are not actually being wholesome to yourself, collective. we want to be. The goal is to be in positive inner dialogue. So when you're finding somebody who is expressing their shadow, that's the start of them being healthy. Does that make sense? Somebody has to get triggered first before they even get to know why they're being triggered. That's how trauma is. Trauma just sits in our system until something triggers us, until somebody triggers us, and then we go, whoa, why did I just get triggered right now? Where did that come from? And how long has that been sitting in here? Okay, coming back to being more at peace, coming back to giving yourself inner peace. Everything is inner. Remember that, collective. Everything is inner. I guess this is going to turn into a reading. I thought this was going to be like a quick reel, but this is going to be a reading, and I'm just going to put that out there. I also would like to say that I freaking love you guys. For us who has been feeling so burdened and just weight on you, it is because you are feeling the world's condition and a lot of the shadow aspect that we have been feeling. I'm speaking to our light workers, our healers. I am speaking to our givers. Yes? Okay. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. What's so great about the light? What is so great about our light aspect, our light side, okay, is that when we are willing and we are standing in our faith, you just keep evolving and you just keep growing, and heavy emphasis on the word regenerating. You just keep regenerating, okay? I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. Exactly. Having faith in yourself and having more trust in yourself. Do you notice that there is the us in trust? Think of that when somebody is expressing their shadow and they're just needing someone there to listen to them, even though you are just not one having it. Like, this is not even a healthy conversation, right? It doesn't feel like it for our healers, our empaths. Right now, there are a lot of people expressing to you. Right now, there are a lot of people coming to you and wanting to vent to you, but it doesn't feel like a vent. It feels like a projection. And this is rooted in not owning up to yourself. This is projected into, this is rooted in not taking accountability for your own feelings, not acknowledging that I take 100% accountability for what I'm saying. So you might find somebody expressing to you a lot of their shadow and they're actually blaming it on you instead of them blaming it on them. Take that as it resonates. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. This is what you're getting, denial. You are seeing somebody in denial and they're expressing it to you. Excuse me, they're projecting it to you. They're expressing it, but they're more than likely projecting it to you because we're not taught to self-love, to self-soothe. So when you find somebody expressing to you, they're not expressing to you, they're projecting to you. There's a difference. When somebody is expressing themselves to you, it means there is accountability. It means that they're taking and owning their feelings and their emotions, and they're affirming to themselves, yes, this is me. I'm taking accountability from what I'm saying. I blame myself. Right? That is accountability, that is expressing. But for somebody who is projecting, there's a difference between expressing and projecting. When we are projecting, it means there is no sense of self-awareness. There is no self-awareness. There's a lack, and a lot of it, of self-awareness. Because when somebody is expressing, they know they're expressing this, and they know that it's coming from a place of truth. They know it to be true first, therefore I am expressing it to you. But I take 100% accountability for what I am saying. And I know this because I'm acknowledging myself expressing it to you. But when somebody is projecting, they are not in truth. They are very much in self-sabotage, self-criticism. They're finding themselves to be in blame, but not blaming it on them. They're blaming it on you. That is projection. There is no sense of peace. There is no inner peace in that. So what they're actually feeling inside is a whole lot of this darkness. There's not enough light in their inner. When you are projecting, it means I don't actually have enough room for good to come in because I've let everything consume me that is not of good. Does that make sense? People who are in their shadow has not given themselves to release and transmute energy, therefore just holding on to toxin, holding on to toxic and unhealthy feelings and emotions, even from the past. So when you have somebody projecting, it means, it tells you, I don't love myself. I have not given myself the self-soothe. I actually do not have room in my life for any good, for any healthy, for any abundance, because I'm only really consumed. Scarcity, trauma, abandonment, neglect. That is what the person who is projecting is feeling. So the difference between expressing and projecting, expressing is somebody who's standing in autonomy, accountability, and authenticity. It comes down to authenticity, right? And then when somebody is projecting, it's the complete opposite. There's no introspection, there is no self-reflection, there is no self-love and self-care. It is very hurtful, although it is very hurtful to see somebody go through that, to see somebody projecting, right? I too, and it holds 100% accountability for this, I too in the past have had projected onto people because I held on to so much pain and so much trauma. I did not actually have a healthy inner dialogue. It took me quite some time to reprogram myself in positivity. And this is what led me to create this YouTube channel, because this has helped me tremendously in expressing myself in such ways, at the same time sharing this to the world. Because if I am feeling it too, I know someone out there is feeling it always, right? For a lot of us, we've been in this mentality of I am alone in it. And then when you hear somebody expressing themselves, you're going, whoa, that's how I feel. And then you don't feel so alone. It takes quite some time to give ourselves the self-love, the self-care, the self-soothe. And it is so important to affirm to yourself, I am love, I am kind, I am kindness, I am courageous, I am capable, I am possible, I am strong. Because this is what's going to regenerate that inner positive dialogue. I have this feeling of like, if you have projected onto somebody, if you've experienced yourself projecting onto somebody, just know that's gonna come back to you. It's karma, right? Because it is mean, it is bully to somebody else when you are projecting, and it may not seem like a bully to you when you're projecting at that time, but it just means that you're hurt, you're in a lot of pain, and Somebody's energy is letting you do that. It is finding more good energy within yourself that you don't have. That is why we are projecting, because there's not enough good in us and we're just wanting to release it. When we have programmed our subconscious to think, I am capable, I am strong, I am possible, right? It is habitual. Everything is practice. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes self-love. And practice makes inner self-strength, right? When we have programmed our subconscious and reprogrammed our subconscious to think, I love myself, you are also empathizing and seeing others just the same, in the same frequency. I'm going to read something to you, and I had mentioned this in the light reading that I just did. I seen this post, and I needed to come back to this and remind myself, sorry, it's not here, but it had said somewhere along the lines of, when you are in the frequency of love, joy, and happiness, you are also going to attract the same frequency that supports the vibration you're at. So when you allow yourself to be in the energy of love, happiness, and joy, that is exactly what you're going to attract. Your energy isn't actually going to attract your needs, your wants, your desires. It only attracts the energy of love, joy, and happiness. It doesn't actually detect what you want and what you desire. If you are in the frequency of love, are you also going to get that back? When you put yourself in the energy of fear, guilt, and shame, and you stay there, that is exactly what you're also going to attract. It is all energy. It is all, in fact, energy. Plants have consciousness. They are, in fact, alive and have a lot of energy and exuding a lot of energy. So when you open your heart, when your heart is activated and fully activated, you are also interacting with these plants in the same frequency. How amazing is that? Does that sound crazy or what? Yeah, dude, it's fucking crazy, but it's true. Now, I don't mean to say that to force anything on you to think that it is true. It is something that you have to also experience for yourself. Everything around us is alive if we just are so willing to believe it. If we are just so willing to believe, period. Okay. Woo. When your heart is fully activated and open, anything that is of consciousness feels you. It also feels you. Your plants feels you. Your plants stay alive because you are alive. When you are in the same frequency and vibration as these plants are also going to give you the revitalization, revitalizing you, it revitalizing you at the same time. You have an interaction with the plants. These plants have consciousness. They feel you just the same when you keep yourself in the energy of abundant love, joy, and happiness. You ever notice that when you don't allow your heart to open up, when you have not allowed your heart chakra to be fully activated and open, you notice that a plant dies around you? If you are that person who buys a lot of plants, but you just cannot keep your plants alive, okay? And I'm not after you, okay? I'm just saying that when we allow ourselves to have an open heart, your energy blooms and exudes. Allow yourself to be in that frequency, and your plants will also keep themselves alive. It is energy, and a lot of it is energy. Most likely it is energy. Aries season is about meaning, interaction, and energy. This is going to give us the full recharge, okay, in Aries season. So think of it this way. Before we wrap this reading up, we've been in it for 30 minutes now. I didn't think this would be so long, but I'm glad that I got to hop on here for you guys. Because the energy is loud and bold and confident, right? As it should. I mean, I think we are allowed to express ourselves and allow ourselves to express ourselves in any way, shape, or form, even if we are sitting in our shadow. I think it's important as well, most importantly, that if we are sitting in our shadow and we've been in self-criticism of ourselves, that is when it is vital to express yourself. It may not come very healthy sometimes, but it's a start, okay? I'm going to pull up another affirmation before we wrap this up. Thank you guys for being here and for being patient with me, taking your time to tune in. You guys have been showing me a lot of love and support, and that is what is keeping me alive. So, you're dope. I have 4 here, so let's do that. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. Honor, a lot of honor. Think of your journey. Think of the time and the energy that you have been putting in this journey that you've been on. Think of that. Honor that. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. I'm getting that if you are and you have been in a place of peace, inner peace within yourself, right? And you're finding yourself to be invited to places. Your friends are hitting you up and they're inviting you to go places and they're inviting you to go hang out and chill with you. You have an option to say no if it means soothing yourself. People may not understand why you don't show up at parties. People don't understand why you may not show up in celebrations and gatherings, right? It is a choice, but it's also only honoring the body and where it should be. That's not your fault, okay? I am learning to accept the things I cannot change, and acceptance, and a lot of it in Aries season, we are in a lot of that. We may not agree to everybody, and that is a given. That may also have a bigger reason why you don't agree to certain things. It is honoring yourself. You don't have to actually follow everybody. No. Don't follow. Follow if it is good. Follow if it is healthy. Follow if it is giving you peace. Follow if you are gaining from it. We must follow ourselves just as much, because that is what is important. That is the goal, is to get to self-love, to self-actualization, accept and honor. Ooh, I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. 3333 on the timestamp. A lot of honoring the self, a lot of honoring your body. It's not your fault that you don't agree with a lot of people, and is not their fault that they don't agree with you. They can disagree with you, but you must honor yourself. Thank you, collective, for being here. I love you so much. This was a quick energy venting, expressing, okay? I will see you guys in the next. I am available for personal readings at this time. Just shoot me an email and I will get back to you. I actually have not done a lot of one-on-one lately. I have had one that comes to me like out of the blue. So when I get a personal one-on-one, I'm just like, wow, I haven't had this in a long time. But I am available for that as well. You guys can check me out on TikTok, on Instagram. I have all of that information in the description box. What else? Aries season is allowing us to be ourselves, whatever that means for you and wherever you stand. But just know to start from the here and now, start from the now, and then go from there. Take care, collective. I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next. Bye.